Half-time, Etihad Stadium. The Saints were hanging in there, but Essendon kicked the last 4 in a row to finish out the term 10-8-68. St Kilda 6-8-44. Essendon lead it by 4 straight goals. Tip and Woody has got the last 2 of the match and 3 in total. Billings kicked 2 in the first quarter for the Saints. Triple M Best on Ground award, thanks to Just Men. Gets rid of grey hair in 5 easy minutes. Visit justmen.com.au to learn more. Chris Judd?
Yeah, so I thought Seb Ross had a really dominant second quarter there. He's had plenty of the ball with 21 disposals. Jack Billings had a brilliant first quarter in particular with a couple of goals. And for Essendon, I think Dyson Heppel's been the most dominant player for them. He's been really good around the clearances with 3 and got a goal and a score assist. And Devon Smith with his tackle pressure, I think, has had an influence on the game as well.
We discussed Hawthorn and Geelong pre-game. Port Adelaide, West Coast, Nate. Adelaide Oval. Massive game this one. If Port drop it, they start to really tumble down the ladder.
They do, but West Coast play well there. I just worry about West Coast, how many players they're losing now. No Nat Newey, no Gaff, maybe no Kennedy, so I don't think they can get up over there.
Some big outs for the GWS. They take on Adelaide. Darcy will be covering that on 7. No Taylor, no Simpson, no Delidio and no Green. But they get some back with Reid, Taranto, Shield and Griffin. So some handy ins. Also a big game, Juddy. This one.
It's funny how Simpson's become a really big out for that GWS team. They were crying out for someone to stand up and take on that number 1 ruck mantle, and I think he's been really important for that side. So a bigger out than most people would realise.
And finally, Nate, Melbourne v Sydney. MCG Sunday. We get to watch Bud, which is always funny. And we'll find out how much of the real deal Melbourne are.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are going too well at the moment to drop that one. I reckon Melbourne are the real deal, and when come finals time, they're going to have the pressure on. This is a finals type game, but I think they'll beat Sydney.
I like it. You hear that game on Triple M Footy on Sunday afternoon. Get into Macca's for the mini Sharon Footy, just $5.95 with any purchase. We're about to start the second half here. Essendon lead it by 24 points. Chewy, just quickly, Triple M Bosch Tour stats. Give me something.
Yeah, Nathan Freeman, Howie, 63% game time, and he's had 10 disposals and, of course, kicked his first goal in his career.
And Doc's always got a theory that if you're 2 down on the bench, the number of times you win the game is minimal. So how will Essendon go trying to run out the game without Goddard and Sard? We will find out. Here's Luke Darcy on Friday Night Footy.
Yeah, the last 4 goals of the second quarter went the way of the Bombers. It's put a bit of a dent in the Saints' chances, and it is a 24-point lead to Essendon as we start this second half. 2 down is the story for the Bombers. Brendan Goddard, Adam Sard, no further part. That bounce favoured Lewis Pearce, the ruckman for the Saints. The umpires seem to be more reluctant to call the ball back for some reason at the moment. Seb Ross, game 100, flicked it over the top. Hacking it forward is Gresham. He's going to ricochet back to him. McDonald, Tip and Woody gave chase. And a brilliant tackle from Hurley. And you heard the call from the umpire, mic'd up for Triple M. It's an Essendon free kick.
So the Bombers move the ball nicely through the middle of Etihad. It was a good kick. Found Tip and Woody. He's called to play on. He was on his bum, but Armitage didn't realise the play on call was there. Gives Collier an opportunity to spot a man inside, and that's Langford, who we thought had a real issue with the collarbone, but he's out there and running and looking good. And Kyle...
Is that the royal wee you've gone with there?
Yes, that was all of us. Darcy agreed that he was absolutely cooked. He kicked one, and now Langford... Well, you pretty much wrote Brendan Goddard's retirement speech for him. We might have both gone a little early there, Darce. As Langford can have a shot. He's kicked 3-4 from set shots this season. He's on the outer side from 45, 10 metres in from the boundary. Difficult angle to take a good kick, and he's got it a bit skinny. So it's through for 1 behind Essendon, a 69. St Kilda a 44 on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Stock up for the footy season at IGA Liquor. Head to igaliquor.com.au to find your nearest store, Darce.
Alan Richardson would have been filthy at half-time with that last 5 minutes when story of the year a little bit, just lapses in concentration. There's an opportunity here for the Saints. It's still wide open for them to have another win. Big Rowan Marshall's fighting hard at half-back, got it from the full-back kick in. They're going to be thrown up in that exact spot, 60 out from the Bombers' goal.
Yeah, I crunched the numbers, Duke. I figured a 2-goal advantage to Essendon was about square given they're down 2 rotations. So Essendon's there 4 goals down. It's really in my spreadsheet they're actually 2, Duke.
There's your Super Special comments. How are you short to make of that, to be honest with you? Memories.
This is the way he picks his shares. I've got real concern. That type of spreadsheet.
Short goes memory to Armitage. No, Brown's getting some boos. We think he's going to miss weeks with a high hit on Sard. Deep into attack, the Saints. McGrath, he's just a really good player. Here's Andy McGrath. McKenna, the Irishman's been prominent. Gets it to centre wing into open space. Hooker's now playing forward. He started in defence, slapped it back to Devon Smith. Geary picked it up, squeezed the handball to Armitage. Army's handball, not his best. In the way, Hooker. Nath Brown in there, Geary. And the Bombers win a nice 50-50.
Merritt, left foot ball. He's got a man in space. And he hits him. It's Langford. Now Myers, high little chipper inside 50. And it's effective. And Fantasia takes the mark. He kicked the first of the match. What did you say you heard his name was pronounced this week?
Fantasia.
Where did you hear that?
Through industry heavyweights, Howie. I'd just back it in if I were you. But St Kilda just got a bit skinny there, Howie. Do you know what that means when they get skinny?
Yes.
It means they all go to one side of the ground, and with Zach Merritt's vision, he opened up the whole other side of the ground. So something St Kilda need to be careful of is not getting drawn to the ball when it's at a contest.
So if he kicks this from 50, you want me to call him Fantasia?
I want you to call him his name.
Bang! Home from Fantasia. Nice finish. That's his second of the night. The first is Fantasia.
I think Andrew McGrath went with it on Triple M, Howie.
Okay, it's a goal, nevertheless.
Don't start changing names of guys, Howie. That does us no good at all in the front row.
Essendon 75, St Kilda 44, and the Triple M IJ liquor score, but I refer back to the Friday night when we called him Ronky for the entirety of his 7 goals.
That's another royal we, Howie, that I'm pretty sure didn't involve me.
You called a lot of those goals.
And called them accurately. Might have to go to the tape. Post-game, the Bombers now all of a sudden have kicked the last 5 goals of the game, and Nate Brown's having one of those real quiet patches,
yes.
Howie. He just kept his stopwatch on.
He needs a wedge.
It's been a big day.
Need to respond here, the Saints. Darcy Parish got down low, picked up the footy, but a free kick
in the back
has been paid back to Myers.
John Worsfold to be happy with this clearance work for Essendon. That was viewed as a major weakness at the start of the year and something they've improved on significantly as the year's gone on.
So Myers taking his time. 31-point lead to Essendon. Early stages, third term. Friday night footy. Etihad Stadium to start around 21, and the Bombers in control this one at the moment. Out the back, trying to get access to the footy. Down there was Heppel, picked up Long. Going to send this one to half back, and well-weighted ball to Armitage. Going to get it moving now to Nunes.
Nunes draws a man towards him and then clears a hand pass. Webster, left foot ball is good. Now the Saints moving through the middle of Etihad Stadium. Nice bit of flow. Well done by Loney. Made the ball his. Further by hand. Cut off though by Parish in defence. Still a ball to be won. Again the Saints come. Quick snap by Billings is high. It'll land towards the goal square. Hurley makes front position. Now the big man arrives for the Saints. Dishes out a handball to Loney, who finishes with a goal. It was Marshall with the hand pass, and that is his second, Loney, and much needed for the Saints. Their first since Freeman Gold early in the second term. Narrows the margin to 25 points on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Well, they badly needed that, the Saints, and there wasn't much, I guess, camaraderie after he kicked that. He kicked the goal and everyone was like, yeah, it's a goal, we've got one finally. There wasn't any up and about, there wasn't any high fives, which sort of worries me because you're still in this game. I mean, they're 2 down and all of a sudden it's only a 25-point ball game. Didn't get around him too much. And I'll give you a stat for the Triple M Bosch Tools. The Bombers had 7 inside 50s in a row and they kicked 5 goals too.
Nice work, Nath Brown. Big goal for the Saints. Much needed, as Mark Howard just described. Back to 25 points. Bell Chambers and Lewis Pearce. Saints go forward again. Loney kicked the last goal. Didn't quite bounce where he wanted it to. Langford came in. Well done, Loney. Dispossessed him with a tackle. Sliding in, picking it up, and immediately tackled with Sinclair. Ricocheted to Bagley. Stolen down there, though, by the Saints. I want to get it in the direction of Membry. Brought it to ground. Loney picked it up again. He's in everything at the moment. Nunes came back, put his head over the footy nicely. The big boy Marshall. Saints again now, surging forward. This is the first game of Patton, and he's wrapped up, taken over for a boundary throw, just on the edge of forward 50.
Well, you saw the handball of the year earlier on in the game by David Armitage. I think Michael Hurley did smother of the year there. He was on the ground, still managed to get a smother on a ball that was kicked very, very hard.
To Triple M Seabus Super special comments, you got Juddy and Nate Brown. Seabus Super with insurances to protect building construction workers. You heard the whistle.
Over here, mate. Dyson. Over here.
It's going the way of the Essendon skipper, Dyson Heppel. What's his night so far, Tuoplo?
Leading ball winner for the Bombers, 20 disposals and a major.
Doesn't seem to be suffering from that groin issue from last week, Chewy.
No, definitely not.
So the Bombers deep in defence. They short the ball and find Collier, a man of speed. He's got the hair tied up. He looks for options, none present, so he's forced to kick to a contest.
Down the line, he's got the big man Hooker, one of the best marks in the game. His old teammate, though, Carlisle, won it. Now Seb Ross, 100th game for the Saints, sends a long, searching footy. Membry's direction, out-pointed Hurley, and took a really good contested mark. He's caused Michael Hurley trouble at times tonight, Tim Membry.
He has. He's been the best of their forwards this year. They've had McCartan, they've had him down there. They've also had Josh Bruce at times. But even when he was missing goals at the start of the year, he was dangerous. He was still getting the end of it. He is someone that the Saints can work with post Nick Riewoldt.
Debuted in 2014 versus the Bombers. He was playing for the Sydney at the time. Only played a handful of games up there with the Swans. This would be a good moment in the game for St Kilda. Couple in a row. Tim Membry, his goal kicking's been good in the second half of the year, and he's missed a shocker there directly in front. Big miss that is. 7-9-51. The Saints 11-9-75. The Bombers. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
McGrath in the back pocket.
What are Seb Ross's numbers, Ash?
25 disposals, Brownie, leading ball winner on the ground.
Hurley sets Langford a task. Spills to Steele. Now to Akers. A little ball is good to Loney, who's had a nice start to the term. And the number 13, Jack Loney from Seaford, plays on, gets it on the left boot. Ambitious attempt. And it doesn't, in fact, score in the end because it lands in the lap of Mark Bagley.
He's had a good month, Seb Ross, hasn't he?
Yeah, averaging 34 disposals, Brownie.
Short one from Bagley. Just into the defensive zone. And Myers takes the mark.
Anything else on Seb Ross, Brownie?
Yeah, he's just a good engine room player.
Long down the line. Carlisle on the way. Dev Smith lurking with the footy, picked up by Parrish. Merritt, McGrath, they're going backwards at half back. The Bombers under a bit of intensity. Hooker in good place to mark it. They did well to spoil that. Hooker did well to get back involved. Chopped off the Loney handball. Mackenzie's got to... Hooker's given him a round arm afterwards.
Reversal.
And they've reversed it.
Hale, be careful, it's a reversal. High, it's a reversal. You swing back into the Be careful. Straight back now.
And the umpire, I reckon, has picked that pretty well, Juddy, directly in front of us.
Yeah, my initial thought was Hooker could be in a bit of trouble for that round arm back. The St Kilda player, no doubt, got him in the high pretty badly. Let's just check the Triple M Chemistry House replay.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's gone.
You reckon it's a week? Probably, especially considering all the noise we've had this past
Just
week
didn't
around.
connect though, did he?
Not quite.
He'll miss a week, I reckon. Given what's happened, and it's a round arm to the header. Didn't quite make contact. He
Missed
couldn't,
him,
but it was just a brain fade, wasn't it?
You reckon he missed him?
Hooksy can have a brain fade though.
This is better by the Bombers through the middle of the ground. McKenna, he's got speed to burn, he's got options to burn, and he finds one. Plays on. Stringer with the goal. Wonderful end-to-end footy from the Bombers. Jakey Stringer slams through his second goal. Essendon are 81. Back out with 5-goal margin. St Kilda 51. That's on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. Stock up for the footy season at IJ Liquor. Head to ijliquor.com.au to find your nearest score. As good as we've seen tonight.
We've seen the Saints miss some pretty easy shots down the other end. We saw Membry miss a set shot. Loney had a chance to kick a goal and didn't score. And then McKenna's just been so damaging off that half back line with his run and carry through the middle of the ground. And all game, Essendon, when they use that ball aggressively through the corridor, they've just been able to score really easy goals.
Simple the Chemist Warehouse replay screen again. Carl Hooker, Brownie, did you get another look at that?
Yeah, he certainly swung his arm under, but judging by the fact that the opponent got up pretty quickly in Mackenzie, I don't think he made contact.
Gresham with the centre clearance, down towards Membry. Bagley slides in. Saints 30 out from their attacking goal. McGrath's kicks gone straight back to Gresham. He thought he had the mark and looks back at the umpire and says, "What are you doing, mate? Not 15." Gresham still arguing the point, but it's going to be thrown up inside forward 50 for the Saints, who trail by 30 points.
Umpire resets the boys. Throw a blanket over 15 players. It doesn't go anywhere. Chewy?
Yeah, McKenna, he's number one on the ground for metres gained. 442 metres is racked up along with his 14 disposals and a major.
Nice work, Chewy. Get into Macca's for the mini share and footy. They're a ripper. Just $5.95 with any purchase. Zaharakis Off the boot of Ross. It bounces once before going across the line on the outer side. Bob Jane T-Marts, tyre and wheel specialist. Jay-Z in the dock. Just a quick update down there.
Yes, hello, Howie. I think Cale Hooker might be in trouble for 2 round arm blows. I think Michael Christian will take a good look, and I reckon he might be in some trouble.
Thanks, Jay-Z. Here come the Bombers. Split the Saints open a couple of times when they connect up through the middle. Myers. It's a good-looking ball. The City side half forward. Langford cuts back inboard to the goal line. Out the back, Hooker. Bailey Rice did well. Picked up by Carlisle. Not a great kick, but an outstanding mark by his teammate who saved the day. It was in the air, and Jack Steele took a really good mark.
He goes short. Sets a task to the big fella Rowan Marshall. He's got the height to cover it. And the Saints transition the ball down the outer wing towards Loney. He's had a bit of it this term. Kicked one goal, missed one. Zaharakis goes across the face of goal, puts a bit of pressure on Paris. Now there's a chance for the Saints.
In there, and fighting hard for it was Blake Acres, who's been far from their worst player tonight. Blake Acres had a pretty
13 disposals, Dars.
thought he might add a few more, too. Picked up though by Devon Smith at half forward. Normally he does something positive with the ball. Wanted Hooker. Carlisle's been his marker. Rowan Marshall got back. His kicking efficiency has been pretty poor at times. That's Jake Carlisle. Seb Ross finding a heap of the footy. Marshall's kicked into the corridor. Wow. He's turned it over badly to Collier.
They'll open up inside 50 if he can move it quickly. Wants to. Trav Collier. He's forced to wait for a lead. Now they come. He drives it to the near pocket. A little bit too much on it. It'll go across the line. A cup of tea there, Chewy, have you?
Yeah, cup of tea.
What is it, a breakfast or a herbal, or what do you go for?
Bit of a mixture herbal type tea, Howie. No sugar involved.
You bring your own, or do you go
No,
here?
just at the back of the press bar here. Very healthy, just like yourself, Howie.
All right.
Bit of a mixture, Chew.
I don't know what that was.
Just made that up.
Armitage can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Saints defending now.
I mean, you combine 2 different tea bags.
Well, you could, if it was a mixture, that's exactly what you do.
I don't know
Howie,
why Chew wouldn't be honest with the listeners, Duke.
Don't lie about what you're drinking, Chew.
Why would you say it's a mixture, Chew, man?
Because I don't know specifically what is in the actual cup of tea that I'm currently drinking.
But you know
it was
it's
one
not a
tea
mixture,
bag
don't you?
for Bosch Tools. Only one.
Sounds a bit dodgy.
It does.
What he's up to down there, Chew.
Some sort
It's only a question about a cup of tea.
herbal marijuana.
Picked up by Hurley. He squeezes it back now.
He does have a lot of games to get through this
To
weekend.
McKenna's turned it over. Membry, or couldn't quite pick it up. Fantasia going to save the day, and the Bombers have got the answers in this game.
McGrath takes 2 bounces. Looks like such a well-balanced and poised player. They get her on by hand to Heppeley's 55 from home with a little chipper is good and finds Myers. 35 out, 6 metres inside the boundary, City side. And this to open it up to a 6-goal lead on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard the way of the Bombers.
Nate Brown made the comment, I think it was after Loney kicked that last goal for St Kilda, that nobody got around him to celebrate. And I think you can read in a bit to St Kilda's body language at the minute. I think they're right in the game, considering Essendon have 2 rotations down. They're still only 5 goals down, but their body language suggests that they don't believe they're in this footy game.
It's Chris Judd, Nathan Brown on the Triple M C-Bus Super Special comments. What can Dave Myers do? From 45 metres out, the left footer gets underneath it and slots it. And it's starting to get away from the Saints now. Essendon 2 men down, but they lead at 87-51 on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. You got 8.5 till the final break.
Fair to say it's probably been his most consistent season, David Myers. I think he's playing some really good footy. He's a really good link man, whether he plays at half back, half forward or the wing. Obviously a lot of injuries throughout his career. He's still only played the 13 games this year, but I'd imagine that's probably one of the longest stretches he's had in the side, and it's paying off.
For the Bombers, their last 8 majors have come from St Kilda turnovers for Bosch Tools.
And they've kicked 7 of the last 8 goals of this match, Chewy.
Yep.
AJZ and Doc, question without notice, just been watching Carl Hooker pacing up and down. He looks a little unhappy at the moment.
He looks a little bit ginger, just talking with the doctors now. Went for a 30-metre walk. The doctor just said to one of the coaching staff that he'll be okay. Just not sure what his problem yet, but the doctor's talking to him.
Thanks, Jay-Z.
Been good down there tonight, under pressure, his position.
Yep, under a lot of intense scrutiny from Tommy Brown, filled in the week before and by his own admission, did an outstanding job, Howie.
I think he was quoted as saying I was outstanding. But he was.
He was good, Tommy.
Now Dev Smith, a little sizzler inside 50. Finds Big Bell Chambers, plays on with a clever kick round the corner. Well done, Geary. Arrived at the last moment. Took it away from Mitch Brown. They've still got problems, though, the St Kilda defenders. Essendon back to Bell Chambers, to Merritt. Now Dev Smith hooks it round the corner. Well done. Coming back with the flight is Freeman. What's his numbers, Chewing? Game 2?
Yeah, 10 disposals and 1 goal, 1 for Freeman.
First goal in AFL football. It was a rare highlight tonight for the Saints. Freeman's got to defend again here. Bailey Rice picks it up. McDonald, Tim Woody got him. Incorrect disposal, holding the ball, whatever you like.
He's a good player, Das.
A little tipper.
Oh, yeah.
Started a little slowly this year, McDonald.
Really slowly.
Yeah.
And when they played the Bombers, when the Bombers played the Cats earlier this year, he had a season-high game. He really came. With the man we spoke to at the start of the night, Sean McKernan, had his best performance. And I think since then, most of those players, those second-tier Bombers players, have really stood up in the last 11 weeks.
The kids love him, Das.
Yeah, he's a cult hero, Howie.
Yeah, he is.
It's amazing, Devon Smith, how good his peripheral vision is in the middle of the ground when he wants to get a clearance. But anywhere inside 50, you see, he tends to lose that.
This would be a nice little return for McDonald, Tippermoody. 4 goals. He gives a little single fist pump. He enjoyed that. Still 7 minutes until three-quarter time. And the Tipper's got 4.
Brilliant tackle by Tippermoody, and you like it when players like Tippermoody that put on so much forward pressure get their chance at a lick of the ice cream, Duke, and for him to get 4 goals so far in this game is really good reward for effort, because every week he sets them up either through his defensive pressure or his quick hands. But danger signs here for the Saints. Essendon are on a roll. The body language is bad for the Saints, and if they're not careful, Essendon are going to steamroll them.
Jake Stringer's in the ruck here.
Career,
this will be interesting.
Career high 4 goals for Tip Woody. So Stringer's in the ruck. Is he Chewy? He is. Sorry, Brownie. He gets,
that's what I said,
absolutely decimated in the ruck, as you'd expect against a much bigger opponent. But nevertheless, Essendon get it out of the centre. Geary running back with a flight.
Tell you what I would like to do, Harry.
Yes.
The only young player, Lewis Pearce, when you get a Stringer come to the ruck, don't stand alongside him, square him up and just jump as hard as you can. It's your advantage. I just thought he allowed that on Jake Stringer's turns. A big young man, a little bit. He's a big unit. Picks it up now. Collier takes it out of his hands at half forward. It's a 42-point lead to the Bombers, by the way. They are all over the Saints. Have kicked 9 of the last 10 goals by my reckoning. And here they go again. Chance to Orazio. He has got the blinkers on like you wouldn't believe. And that one misses across the face, just sneaks in for a minor score. Let's get back down to Jay-Z.
Bailey Rice for St Kilda, just offered the doctor now, having his right thumb assessed, in a bit of discomfort. We'll keep an eye on it, Duke.
Centre clearance is 13-8. Myers has 5 of them.
Would it be fair to say, as the ball goes out to the wing and across the boundary line out the full, and the Broncos will bring it back in, Fantasia and Stringer, the 2 of the more focused players in the league around goal?
Fantasia? I think he is. I think...
alongside Stringer?
I think that's a fair call. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Both very focused inside 50. Heppel drives the ball in that direction now. Tip and Woody tried to rove it. He'd love another one. Equal career high 4 goals tonight to Tipper. And he's applied a few tackles as well, Chewy.
Yeah, 3 tackles all inside the forward 50.
Nice bit of work by the debutant. Ben Patton got around a man. The man from Mitty United goes into the middle of Eddie Had now. Jack Stevens away.
Brilliantly done it was by the debutant Patton. He's really set this play up because Nunes has got space on the City side. Time to take a bounce. Can he sum it up well? Membry has been a good target, just edged underneath the footy. Hurley's picked it up, jammed it on his boot, almost put it into the crowd. And Darcy Parish did well off hands and over a boundary throw.
You wanted the ruckman to have a crack at Jake Stringer. You're under the tutelage of the great Graham
That'd be Gary Dempsey.
Gary Dempsey. Did you ever line anyone up in your latter years that you thought this young kid needs to be sorted out?
Well, Gary Dempsey was the ruck coach for well over a decade. Picked up in the meantime by Nunes. Shot has just missed one behind, and he'd go through the tape every week, do his strategy, he'd do the whole thing, and then he'd get to just 2 minutes before he run out, and Dempsey'd go, "Don't worry about all that other shit. I just run through and smash him in the face." He said that to me every week I played. And then, you know what, one day they had an old game on, Channel 7 flashbacks, and I saw Demps, and he was as goodest ships in the 90s you've ever seen before. I said, mate, you're kidding yourself.
Good work by Essendon. Transitioning out of defence. Now to the half-back line. Long ball forward is really good. Finds Stringer. I think it was from Myers. Stringer's within 70, so he is pretty focused on what's ahead of him. Plays on, drives it long for goal. As I said, he's quite focused from that area, Juddy. Bob Jane teammates, Jay-Z.
Howie, Cale Hooker back off the ground, complaining of a sore left knee. He's gone down to the race with the doctors for some treatment. So, question mark over a third Essendon player, Cale Hooker, down the race.
Bob Jane teammates, tyre and wheel specialist.
Very good call by you, Howie. He had Collier too on the fat side of the ground there, Stringer, so he did have the blinkers on.
Nice work down there, Jay-Z, all over it. Really warm into the night. Short one to Dyson Heppel, and this is becoming a procession for the Bombers. And the skipper can add some more pain.
It's almost like they've got spare men in their defence, St Kilda, and sometimes when players are playing that zone-type defence, they get into bad habits and they don't man anyone up. And that's what looks like is happening in St Kilda's defensive 50 at the minute. No one's taking responsibility for picking up a man, and Essendon are just moving the ball inside there at will.
Skipper's averaging 26 disposals this year, Dyson Heppel. Plays game number 150 next week for his second of the night. Just edged it across the face. So the scoreboard reads 14-11-95 Essendon, 7-10-52 the Saints. That's your Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Bring the ball back in. And it's nicely taken by Rowan Marshall. What's his numbers, Stu? The big boy, 203 centimetres, 104 kicks.
Yeah, 10 disposals and 5 marks and 9 hit-outs.
Pretty good by foot, goes back across the face. Well, that's not good, though. They've kicked it straight to Smith. That was Jimmy Webster. And Dev Smith can line up from about 48 and have a crack for Essendon's 15th goal. What do they kick, Chewy? Since Freeman kicked his first goal, they kicked what?
8 out of the last 9.
So Dev Smith, Brownie called in the recruit of the season. Hard to argue. He sliced this one a touch off the outside of the boot. Big fly from behind. And Stringer lets it hit the ground and it goes across the line 2 metres around from his goal. Essendon lead this one 95-52 on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. You got Brownie and Juddy, Triple M C-Bus Super special comments. C-Bus Super with insurances that protect building construction workers.
Marshall, Bell Chambers, free kick. Belcho directly in front. And the experienced man wins out. Getting a little ugly this game all of a sudden. Bombers have, since half-time, completely dominated. And Tommy Bellchambers, good chance here, Brownie directly in front.
He's normally a pretty good set shot at goal too, Bellchambers, so I'm going to put this one in my book.
Just taking his time. No distance issues to worry about. A big presence on the football field, Tom Bellchambers. Very hard man to move. And Brownie going to have to get the old liquid paper out, I think. That one's gone astray and a minor score. Really poor attempt in the end, 14-12-96 to 7-10-52. All the Bombers on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
What time was your flight this morning, Nate?
This morning, the car picked me up at 4:40 a.m.
Yeah, you're starting to have that sound about you. I thought it might have been an early one. You're a warrior. Myers, 70 from home. Takes a bit off the ball, and it's good, and he finds Fantasia. I'm sticking with that name. As Juddy continues to say it's Fantasia, and Fantasia can line up for his third from about 48 metres out. Not too much to speak of.
Well, they've missed 3 very kickable goals in the last couple of minutes, Essendon, so they need 1 or 2 more, and this game's well and truly out of reach for the Saints.
Yeah, it's already out to 44 points, so could already be out of reach. Fantasia, again, his best effort, slides across the face. Again, Stringer goes hang time, and again it goes through for a behind, 97-52.
Hey, Judd, I just keep looking at Alan Richardson every second on the Chemist Warehouse replay screen, and what we're witnessing at the moment is just another really poor performance. Bombers have got 2 genuinely good players down, have had since early stages of this game, and once again we're seeing a pretty inept St Kilda side. There's a lot of change happening in St Kilda at the moment. Is this if they get smacked in this last quarter, does it mean anything?
Oh, I mean, they'd much prefer not to. I think they've already announced they're going to have significant changes with their assistant coaches, so I don't think it'll change anything from that perspective. But the players will still have plenty they want to get out of these last remaining games of the season.
Jack Still's kick into the corridor. Carlisle probably should have done better there. Couldn't take the mark, and now the Bombers can rebound from defence, which they've been able to do effectively. Myers on the trusty left foot goes back to Brown, and so 35 seconds until three-quarter time. It's 97-52, 45-point lead to the Bombers.
I think what you are looking for, if you're Alan Richardson, is what you can learn from some of your players. I think Gresham at periods when they've been challenged this year has really stood up. You're crying out to find out which of their other young players are going to do that when the chips are down.
Akers takes the mark, hands it off to Webster. Kicks it inside forward 50. The Bombers' defence back there more than capable of handling it. Francis, this is a strange decision. Late in the quarter, kicked it right through the middle of the ground, and even that one bounced the right way for the Bombers. Three-quarter time siren. All Essendon. Oh, the siren. Seb Ross wants to get involved here, Howie.
Yeah, he had a push and a shove with David Myers on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Chemist Warehouse, the real house of fragrances. They're still going in the middle. There's been a bit of feeling in this one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 12 umpires out on the ground. Brendan Goddard walking out, hyperextended his knee early in the first term. Didn't take any further part, nor did Adam Sard after getting a big knock from Nathan Brown. The players have separated. It was a big term, 4 goals to 1 the way of Essendon. They led it by 24 points at half-time. They currently lead at 97-52, so there's a 45-point margin at three-quarter time for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.